Can you spot the security camera?
So thanks very much to CamDuck for sending this out. This is something a bit different. Yes, it's a USB hub, but can you see something here at the top? Now they have a full range of these things that look like various household objects. For instance, a fire alarm. And no instructions whatsoever. I don't even know where to start.
This one they sent me had a US plug, so I've had to use an adapter. And although there's a space for instructions on their website, there was no instructions or tutorials at all. And they did send me the instructions pack, but I had to actually email them and ask.
The CamDuck then, it's a pretty good idea. And well, the first time I set it up, it was nice and straightforward to do this close range monitoring. And the close range monitoring means it's just linking directly to my phone. So I'm on its Wi-Fi hub, if you like. So that's the phone connecting to its Wi-Fi hotspot, really. But then the second time, I haven't been able to get that going for some reason, which is quite frustrating. So I do have the files here. I can see that it looks just fine. It's not a very wide angle that I was expecting it to be. I thought it'd be a much wider angle to cover a larger area of the room. Seems to have worked all right. I wonder if it's capturing audio as well.
That could definitely be quite good. And perhaps I will try and put it on a 2.4 gigahertz.
And you know, that's covering now my desk. And then I went ahead and put an SD card in, but I couldn't seem to get the SD card in like to click like it normally does. So I just put the back on and thought maybe that's what it's supposed to be. And then we'll see if we've got any files actually stored on that card. I doubt it. So generally, I'm not all that impressed. It is quite a plasticky build quality. It's not inspiring me with the greatest quality. It seems to have all the things, all the features, and the app's fine when it worked, but now it seems to just be sort of going round and round in a loop.
Please connect to the camera Wi-Fi, then return to the app. Please connect to the camera Wi-Fi, then return to the app.
And one thing to remember, you can do the close range monitoring where you're logging on one device onto it using the app and you're watching it on that device. And you can also do the long range monitoring, which is to connect it to your Wi-Fi and then you can look at it anywhere in the world essentially. But I'm not really too bothered about either of that. All I really want to do is have an SD card in it and it sit and do a loop or even use its motion detection mode. So it turns on when somebody's in this room and just records a quick clip. Because I'm not expecting to be robbed and it would be nice just to think though that if somebody does come into this room that there's a video clip of them and I can see what's actually going on there. As I said though, it would be far better if it would cover all of the room including the desk, but it's actually quite a narrow field of view. It's probably not any wider than a sort of 120 field of view. I presumed it would be much wider. It is though very discreet, and I do think that you wouldn't actually notice that. You wouldn't think to yourself, oh, there's a camera. So it has two indicator lights on it which come on when you're first pairing the device up and then they go off forever so you don't see them. And generally it looks like the front of it is pretty continuous, but you can see a small roundel if you are looking for it. You can see where the lens is in the plastic if you are looking for it. And I just think, why haven't they just used the same clear plastic, transparent plastic across that entire front maybe? Some way of making it look completely continuous just so you can't, even if you do go looking for it, you can't actually see the camera itself. It is a working USB hub. You can charge phones off it. You can't get any data from it, but I think there's going to be very slow charging speeds there. It supports 128 gigabytes, so that's going to be able to do a sort of loop. It can either do a 10-minute continuous loop, so it just keeps making 10-minute files and overwrites the previous ones when it gets to the end. That should last you for quite some time. Or you can have motion detection mode, and every time motion is detected, it'll do a 2-minute video. It does give you a little warning just to say about the charging that you shouldn't charge more than 3 phones at once on it, because it'll overheat otherwise. I don't see why they'd give it with 5 USB ports if it can't manage to charge more than 3 at once. You can't use it on the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, so you can only use it on a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi connection. And that's an issue for me because my home Wi-Fi is now on 5G. I don't have a 2.4 option, so the phone that you're looking at and the Wi-Fi connection needs to be on the 2.4 gigahertz to use it with that permanent mode. However, you could set up a router for it. That wouldn't be too much of a challenge. I think what is good about it is that you aren't having to pay for a cloud service. So where I can see this, and why I just took this as a kind of, give it a go, guys. Yep, absolutely. Thank you very much for sending it out. Why I took this was that I should be able to, if I can get it going, I think it's getting there this time, I should be able to just leave it in a corner of my room and know that if I was robbed at any point that I've got a 2-minute clip of somebody doing that. I don't feel the need to check in anytime. This isn't an outdoor camera like the front doorbell, for instance. I can just check in at any time. So is it a recommend? If you're somebody who needs that, who just wants not to pay for a cloud subscription with something like Ring, if you don't want to pay a subscription for a security camera setup and you want some indoor cameras, then yeah, these do seem to work, but I think you might have a bit more of a frustrating setup than if you went for one of the larger companies. So there we go, third time of asking, I did get it going, and I think what it was is that it wanted to load the Wi-Fi settings and then go back to the app. Through the app, there was a little button to click, go back to the app. So I kind of jumped the gun a bit on the first time that I loaded up. So okay, it works perfectly fine now. And also the SD card, I actually just needed to use a flathead screwdriver to like poke it in far enough to make it click. So my thumbnail wasn't quite long enough to actually get it right in to make it click. And it does seem to now be operating on the setting where it's going to do motion detect and just record a video every time it detects motion and gives me a 2-minute clip. So nice to have, peace of mind, I guess. Not that, to be honest, if somebody comes in here just wearing any kind of face covering and takes my things, that would be any use at all. It does give you a little alarm in the app when it does that, but that would mean you need to be connected in the remote view settings. So that could therefore be quite good. And perhaps I will try and put it on a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi when I'm going abroad, for instance, so that actually I could call the police pretty quickly if I did sense motion in my study here. So all in all, if this meets your needs, I think that it works, and I think you can be satisfied that this is a good, affordable option where you don't have to pay a subscription to run.